Good morning, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Today, paper analysis Zoology here on May 5th, 2026, Shift 1. So, in that first question first question here. Choose the tautonyms from the following: Homo sapiens, Axis, Carvus splendens, NASA. So, let's start. What exactly mean of tautonymy? So, related to here, we have some explanation on this topic. So, yes, tautonyms. So, tautonyms generally it is a scientific name. So, where generic name and specific name, or also we can use another term species. Specific or species names are identical, very important, in which generic name and specific names are identical. So for example here, example for tautonyms, axis. Here axis is a genus name and one more axis is a specific name or species name. So both genus and specific names are both are identical. Such names are called tautonyms. So axis is a scientific name for spotted deer. Okay, spotted deer. So do you know spotted deer is a Telangana state animal is spotted deer. And one more example here, tautonyms. So that is NASA. So NASA is a genus. One more NASA is a also specific name. And here genus and specific both are same names, identical names. So example here, Indian cobra. Okay, right. So this is all about the tautonyms. Here we have to choose. So there axis and NASA. Where we have here second and NASA. So your right answer is 2 and 4. We have to choose 2 and 4. Where here? Yeah. So here we have fourth answer. So fourth one is the right answer. Let's start some discussion on Homo sapiens, Carvus. What are this? So here I will explain. Yeah. First, start with binomenclature. Here, binomial nomenclature is also a scientific name. Giving scientific name to the living organism. Here, we giving living organism two scientific name. Bi means two. Here, two names in which one name is genus and another name is species or specific name. We have to give two names. One is genus name and another one is specific names. These genus and specific names are both are non-names. Remember, in tautonyms, genus and specific names are identical, but in binomial nomenclature, genus and specific names are non-identical names. This binomial nomenclature concept was proposed by a scientist called Carolus Linnaeus, and he was considered as a father of taxonomy. Very important, father of taxonomy. Here, taxonomy, which mainly study of identification, nomenclature, and classification. Taxonomy is a study of identification, nomenclature, and classification. And do you know, this Carolus Linnaeus also proposed two kingdom system of classification, like they are Plantae kingdom and Animalia kingdom. So these two kingdom system of classification also proposed by this Carolus Linnaeus. Do you know this Carolus Linnaeus also proposed hierarchical classification system? Very important. Hierarchical classification system. Here, hierarchical classification system is which generally here organisms are classified into various groups. Like we have to remember one trick like DKPC of GS is a hierarchical classification system. Here D means domain. Here I am writing. Yeah, here I am writing. D means domain. So domain include kingdoms. K means kingdom. Here P means phylum. In animal we use phylum, but in plant we use division. C means class. O means order. F means family. And here G means genus. S means species. So like that there are various group of organisms are classified into various groups by this hierarchical classification systems. So this hierarchical level classification system also proposed by the Carolus Linnaeus. And do you know this Carolus Linnaeus wrote two books? He wrote two books. So there one book for plant. So that is a Systema Naturae, Species Plantarum. First one, Species Plantarum books, Species Plantarum. So this Species Plantarum, which include completely about plants, And one more book he wrote for animals. So that is Natural Systema Naturae for animals. So all these are the contribution of Carolus Linnaeus. So he was considered as a father of taxonomy. Okay, right. So according to binomial nomenclature, every living organism has only two names, biological names or scientific names. First names is genus, another name is species. For example, here if Mangifera indica. If you take Mangifera indica, so Mangifera indica, in which Mangifera is the genus name and indica is the species name, like that. So here genus and species both are non-identical names. Okay, right? So and we also need to discuss one more nomenclature we have. So one more nomenclature we have, so that is trinomial nomenclature. So in this trinomial nomenclature also, it is a giving scientific name or biological name. Scientific name, or also we can use another term, biological name. So here trinomial nomenclature include three names, which include three names means every organisms giving three names. For every organism has three names. Those three names are, first name is genus, second name is species, or third name is subspecies. Here one extra is added, that is subspecies. Like that, every living organism has three names. Such type of nomenclature is called trinomial nomenclature. And remember, in three name, species and subspecies names are identical. Very important, identical. In which species and subspecies names are identical. Here we take some example. Here in option also giving some examples, like here Homo sapiens. Here Homo is a genus name, here sapiens is a species name, and one more sapiens is there now, so that is subspecies. So genus, species, subspecies, like that. And one more example also given, third one, that is Carvus splendens. So Homo sapiens is a nomenclature, it is a scientific name for human being. And one more example given, that is Carvus splendens and splendens. So here Carvus is a genus name, splendens is a species name, and splendens, another splendens is subspecies name. See here, subspecies and species both are identical here, these two. Okay. So like that, every living organism has three names. Such type of nomenclature is called trinomial nomenclature. So in given option, Homo sapiens, Carvus splendens, these two are what? Trinomial nomenclature. But axis and NASA both are tautonyms. Tautonyms. So in tautonyms means generic and species names are identical. Okay. So next one, here 40. Study the following and choose the correct statement. Here we have to choose correct statement. Biodiversity is greater in tropic region. Digitalin is an anti-cancer. Here giving digitalin is a anti-cancer drugs, which is obtained from the plant Vinca rosea. Invasion of alien species is threat to local species. Sacred groves are a type of ex situ conservation. So like that, here giving few options. We have to choose correct statement. So let's start some discussion on this topic. Just wait. Yeah. Here first about biodiversity. What exactly biodiversity and how greater biodiversity are seen in tropic region, we'll discuss. Bio. So generally this term was proposed by a scientist called Edward Wilson. Remember, Edward Wilson proposed this term. Here biodiversity means variety of life present on earth. Variety of life on earth is called biodiversity. So generally we have different types of biodiversity. We won't need all these things. Here important concept in this biodiversity we need to know. We have to conserve this variety of life on earth. So then we go for conservation types. Conservation. So before we go to conservation of biodiversity, let's know that, so generally biodiversity is higher at tropic region. For example, here I'm explaining here this side. So for example, earth is like this. So at middle we have equator. So at equator region we have tropic region, tropical area, tropic region. Equator is a tropic region. Why? Because here there are high temperature is present, high temperature. So more solar energy will come in this equator region or tropical region. So remember one important concept here, and temperature is directly proportional to the biodiversity. Very important. Temperature is directly proportional to the biodiversity. It means that if temperature increase, the biodiversity also more. If temperature is decrease, the biodiversity also decrease. For example, do you know? So from equator, then if from equator to the subtropic level, we will move like this to the polar region. Then temperature what happen? Decrease. Temperature decrease from tropic region to polar region while we move. So ultimately what happened? The biodiversity also decrease. Okay. If we move from tropical region to, sorry, not tropical, from polar region, if you move from polar region to tropical region, then temperature will what happen? Increase. Temperature is increase. If temperature increase means biodiversity also increase. So more biodiversity. So in simplify, if at a tropical region we have more temperature, hence there we have seen greater biodiversity. Remember, greater biodiversity are seen in tropical region. Why? Because where we have more solar energy or temperatures. If it move towards the polar region, the temperature will be decrease. So as temperature decrease, the biodiversity also decrease. Okay, no? So first statement, biodiversity is greater in tropical area. Yes, this statement is right. Okay, now let's start discussion on conservation of biodiversity. Very important here. So how we conserve this biodiversity? For conservation of biodiversity, we use two important methods. Protection methods we will discuss. Yeah, conservation here. Just wait. Yeah. So here we use two important conservation method. So one is in situ method, means on site, on their natural habitat, on site. And one more ex situ method, means of site. So here in situ method, generally in situ method on site, protecting the, in which we need to protect and species. Very important. In situ method we protect endangered species within their natural habitat. Natural habitat only we have to protect only endangered species. But here in ex situ species we protect threatened species. So the species which is in threatened, are they are going to be extinct. Such type of species are only protect in the ex situ method. Means we have to take these threatened species from their natural habitat, then we have to create a special protecting area. So there we only protect this ex situ or threatened species. Here to protect this endangered species, then we have various methods. So for example, here we have hotspots. Very important. Hotspots. Hotspot is the best example for in situ method. So do you know, in worldwide or globally there are 34 hotspots are there. Remember, there are 34 hotspots are there worldwide. As per new data, there are 34 hotspots are there in globally. Among 34, there are 3 biodiversity hotspot biodiversity are present in India. We have 3 hotspot biodiversity. For example, like Western Ghats and Sri Lanka. Here I am writing like Western Ghats and Sri Lanka, and one more is Indo, and one more is Himalayas. So these are the 3 important biodiversity hotspot where we have protect. It is an example for in situ. Okay. Now coming to some protected area also we have like biosphere reserve. Here second one is biosphere reserves. Do you know in India there are 14 biosphere reserves are there. So where here also we can protect endangered species like in situ method. And also we have national park. So in India generally there are around 19 national parks are present as per NCERT data. Here I am explaining. And also we can wildlife sanctuaries. Like wildlife sanctuaries also there are 448 wildlife sanctuaries are there in India world. Okay, 448. And very important, sacred groves. So here sacred groves also comes under this in situ method. So these are the 5 important 5 methods like hotspot, biosphere reserves, national park, wildlife sanctuaries, and sacred groves. These 5 are comes under in situ method of conservation where we can protect endangered species in their natural habitat. Okay, fine. Now coming to ex situ method. In ex situ method, ex situ conservation method, here we have to protect threatened animal and plant species. So we have to take out this threatened animal and plant species from their natural habitat, and we have to create a protecting area. So in protecting area, we have to create there only we can protect this threatened animal and plant species. So generally ex situ conservation which include like zoological park or botanical garden, zoological park and botanical garden. And remember, wildlife safaris, wildlife safari park. So don't confuse here. Wildlife safari park comes under ex situ, but wildlife sanctuary comes under in situ. Remember, okay. And also we can use some advanced method of ex situ conservation. Advanced method, in advanced method means like cryopreservation. Very important, cryo. So also we can use cryopreservation as a ex situ method. So where we can mostly generally we can protect gametes. So gametes of threatened species. Here we can protect gametes of threatened plant and animal species. For further, they in preserved as a viable and fertile condition for long period of time at 196 degrees Celsius. We have to protect these gametes for a long time at 196 degrees temperature, cryopreservation. And also we can use like gene bank, seed bank, like that we have different ex situ method, so in which we can conserve. So this is all about the conservation of bio. So by this analysis, here fourth option read sacred grooves are a type of ex situ. No, this statement is wrong. Sacred grooves are in situ conservation method. So this statement is wrong. Okay, this fourth statement is wrong. But for first statement, just now we discussed, no? First statement is right. Okay, next second statement. Once read, digitalin is an anti-cancer drugs. No, digitalin actually here see about digitalin is a cardiac drugs. Very important. It is a cardiac drugs. So this drug which helps in heart problem. Cardiac disease means heart problem, heart related drugs. This one, not anti-cancer. Remember, digitalin is not a anti-drug. It is a drug of cardiac drug, heart related drugs. But this digitalin generally which is obtained from digitalis purpureus plant, or also we can use another foxglove plant, another name for digitalis purpureus foxglove plant, from which only we obtain digitalin, and it is a cardiac drug. And but here giving vinca rosea. So but this vinca rosea is a plant from which we obtain vinblastine vincristin. Remember, from which we obtain vinblastine drug and vincristin drug. Vinblastine and vincristin drug, these two drugs which obtained from this vinca rosea. But these two drugs which is helpful for the anti-cancer, they act as anti drugs, but not digitalin act as an anti-cancer. This vincristin, vinblastine are act as an anti-cancer drug, and which is obtained from vinca rosea. So this statement is wrong. Second statement is wrong. Now coming to third statement here. Just wait. Third statement. Yeah. So here third statement. Yes. Third statement. Invasion of alien species threat to local species. Yes, this statement is right. So why means generally here invasion species, the invasion species means exotic species. Here invasion species, invasion alien species, or also we can use exotic species. Generally this exotic species which is harm to the local species. For example, here as per NCERT we have some few examples how invasion alien species with exotic species are harm to the local species means. For example here, and there is one fish example, Nile perch fish, and it is a exotic and it is a large predator fish. It is a exotic and it is a large size predatory fish. And these due to invasion of this Nile perch fish in in our area, in our river, then there are more than 200 species of chichid species fishes are extinct. So due to invasion of this Nile perch, there is the extinct of more than 200 species of chichid fishes. They become extinct. So like that they will harm. Okay, and one more example we have like invasion weed species. So we have few invasion of weed species. So in the best example of weed species is Parthenium. So also we can use Parthenium, also another name carrot grass. So carrot grass or Parthenium species also a type of invasive weed species. And one more species very important. So that is Eichhornia. So generally Eichhornia also we can use another term like water hyacinth, or also it is known as terror of Bengal. Due to invasion of this water hyacinth or terror of Bengal or Eichhornia, there are more number of local species, they become get extinct. Okay, and like one more example, animal example, we have African catfish. Due to invasion of African catfish, then there is a impact on indigenous catfish. So indigenous means our local indigenous catfish get extinct due to African catfish invasion into the our local river or indigenous river. Then our Indian indigenous catfish get become extinct. See how this invasion alien species get harm to our local or indigenous species. Okay, so hence third option is invasion of alien species is 100% threat to local species. Right statement. So after analyzing all these statement, so here first and third statements are right and second and fourth statements are wrong. So we have to choose correct statement. So here, so correct statement here we have 1 and 3 now. So right answer is 1 and 3. Okay, next third one here. So match the following in list 1 giving various types of cells and here their role. So astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, microglial cells, squamous cell. All these are different types of neuro cells. So what exactly these neuroglial cells? So generally we know that our nervous system or nervous tissue, nervous tissues. We have 4 different types of tissue now. In that, most important tissue is nervous tissues. This tissues which is mainly made up of with 2 important cells. One is the main structural and functional unit of nervous tissue is neuron. That is, neuron is a structural and functional unit of nerve system or nerve tissues. Okay, but one more tissues which is present, and this that's tissue cell which is help or which is act as a accessory tissue or cell to the neuron. That is neuroglial cell. So like that, there are 2 different types of nerve tissues are present. One is most important tissue is neuron, and another one is neuroglial cells. And this neuroglial cell function is accessory. So accessory function to the neuron cell, accessory function to the neuron. Okay, and these neuroglial cells has mainly 4 different types. Okay, this neuroglial cell has 4 different types. Okay, in the first type, we know that here giving astrocytes. And what is the role of this astrocyte? Generally, these astrocyte cells act as blood barrier. Very important, blood barrier. So remember, triple B, blood brain barrier, and it is a barrier between blood and brain, this astrocyte cells in neuroglial cell. And coming to second one, here giving second, oligodendrocytes. So very important, this oligodendrocyte forms myelin sheath. Very important, here I am writing here oligo. So these oligodendrocytes which form myelin sheath around neuron or axon. Myelin sheath. So we know that the neuron structure like this. If neuron structure like this means, so all these are what? Dendroids here. See, this is what? Dendroids, and here the axon here, cell body of neuron, and this is what? Axon. And this axon which is covered with a sheath like this, and this sheath is called myelin sheath. So this myelin sheath which is formed from this oligodendrocyte cell. Remember, this myelin sheath form only in central nervous system. So here oligodendrocyte form myelin sheath in central nervous system. Here central nervous system means which include brain and spinal cord. In brain and spinal cord we have neuron. Na? So in that neuron only, in that neuron, axon which is covered with this myelin sheath, that myelin sheath which comes from this oligodendrocyte cells. Why? Because in peripheral nervous system also we have different neuron. In that neurons myelin sheath also there, but that myelin sheath is completely formed in different other neuroglial cells. Okay, we will discuss. So here remember, oligodendrocytes which form myelin sheath only in central nervous system neuron around the axon. Okay, right. Now coming to see third one, here we will discuss. Just wait here. So here third one, microglial cells. So generally this microglial cell act as phagocytic cells. Very important. Microglial cell act as phagocytic cell. Here phagocytic cells means which helps to fight against microbes, fight against pathogen. If any pathogen will enter into this neuron structure, then this microglial cell only which has a immune response. It play immune response. Why? Because it produce antibodies, and that antibodies which kill this pathogen, this microglial cells. Now here coming to one more important neuroglial cell, that is Schwann cell. Here Schwann cell, and this Schwann cell forms very important form. This Schwann cell form neurilemma. Very important, neurilemma. So neurilemma is nothing but what? It is a plasma membrane of neuron cells. So plasma membrane of neuron cell is considered as a neurilemma. Remember, and also not only which helps to formation of neurilemma, but also which helps to form myelin sheath. See here also myelin sheath, but the form myelin sheath which is present around axon, but in which type of neuron they are present means in peripheral nervous system. Here the peripheral nervous system also has neurons, and every neuron is made up of with axons, and around this axon of peripheral nervous system neuron, this myelin sheath will be formed by this Schwann cell. By whom? Schwann cell. See the differences. Oligodendrocyte cells form neuron myelin sheath. This oligodendrocyte form myelin sheath, but around in axon of central nervous system. Okay, but here Schwann cell also form myelin sheath around axons of peripheral nervous system. That is the major differences. Okay, right. Then we can analyze all these things. Okay, so by that, here astrocyte. So what is the importance of astrocyte? Which act as blood barrier. So here A is 5. Oligodendrocytes. So oligodendrocytes just now we discussed, which helps in formation of myelin sheath, means here third. And coming to microglial cells, their main function is phagocytes, means 1. Squamous cells mainly helps in neurolemma, formation of neurolemma, means 2nd. Okay, so 5 3 1 2 here. Yes, see here 5 3 1 2. So right answer is 3rd one. So next one here, 44th question. Consider the following statement. Here statement type of questions given. Statement 1. Radially symmetrical animals are generally sluggish, means they show slow movement. Why? We will discuss. Slow movement, or also we can use sluggish. In human body, kidneys are retroperitoneal organ. So read these two statements. We have to choose which is the right statement. Okay, na? Right. So let's start about here symmetry, or giving symmetry. So we'll discuss some explanation on symmetry. So generally we have two different types of symmetry. One is radial symmetry and another one is bilateral symmetry. So but there are some animals, they don't have any symmetry. Such animals are comes under asymmetrical organism. Asymmetrical organisms. For example, asymmetrical phylums which include mostly like porifera are comes under asymmetrical. So their body can't divide into two equal identical half. Okay, only porifera include asymmetrical organ phylum in animal kingdom. But in radial, again we divide them into two. One is only radial symmetry, and one very important biradial symmetry. Symmetry. Here biradial means it has radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Both combination it contains. And this radial symmetry generally seen in which phylum means Cnidaria phylum. Remember, Cnidaria phylum. So Cnidaria phylum also called Coelenterata phylum. Coelenterata. We have two names, Cnidaria or Coelenterata phylum. We have seen radial symmetry, but this biradial symmetry are seen very important. That is Ctenophora. In which Ctenophora. In Ctenophora we have seen biradial. In Cnidaria or Coelenterata we have seen radial symmetry. Okay. So, but in question here, radial symmetry. Here giving radial symmetry. So, which organism shows radial symmetry means here, which organism? Ctenophora or Coelenterata. Here I am writing Ctenophora, sorry, Cnidaria and Coelenterata. Second phylum. So, first phylum we know that Porifera, then Coelenterata means also known as Cnidaria. Third one is Ctenophora, and fourth one is Platyhelminthes. Then Aschelminthes means Nematoda. Then Annelida, Arthropoda, then Mollusca, then Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. Like that we have food type and types of phylums which include in animal kingdom now. So in that second phylums contain radial symmetry, that is here Ctenophora, sorry not Ctenophora, Coelenterata or Cnidaria. Okay, it shows radial symmetry. And these why it shows sluggish or slow movement means here I am writing reason here. Why? Because they lack centralized head. Very important. Why? Because they lack centralized head, means centralized head, or they lack forward direction. They won't move forward direction. So due to lack of this forward direction or centralized head, they making them slow moving. So hence this statement, first statement is right. Clear now? Right. Now coming here, bilateral symmetry generally which is seen from, very important, in from Aschelminth, yeah, not Aschelminthus, from Platyhelminthes to Chordata. Remember, from Platyhelminthes phylum to Chordata phylum shows bilateral symmetry. Very important. So bilateral symmetry is shown from phylum Platyhelminthes to Chordata. Means, so Platyhelminthes to Chordata means what are the various phylum which include here Platyhelminthes, and then Aschelminthes, then and Annelida, and then Arthropoda, then Mollusca, then Echinodermata, then Hemichordata and Chordata. All this from Platyhelminthes to Chordata phylum contain bilateral symmetry. But radial symmetry seen in second phylum, so that is Cnidaria or Ctenophora. So sorry, Coelenterata, another name. But third phylum show biradial symmetry. Remember here, biradial symmetry means it shows both radial symmetry and biradial symmetry. Generally this Cnidaria shows, Ctenophora shows superficially, means structurally which is superficially, which is appear radial symmetry, only radial symmetry. But in internally which is appear in both radial symmetry shows and bilateral symmetry also shown internally. But superficially this Ctenophora appear only radial symmetry. Okay, no? Remember. So hence, if any organism is shown both type of symmetry, then such type of symmetry is called biradial symmetry. Bi means here bilateral, radial means radial. Likewise, both combination of symmetry are shown in this Ctenophora. Very important. Third phylum. Okay. So here first statement is right. Now we analyze the statement 2. Yes. Statement 2. In human body, kidneys are retroperitoneal organ. How? We will discuss. Generally in human body, kidneys are located behind the parietal peritoneum. See, generally we know that here, for example, in abdominal cavity we have, and this abdominal cavity which is lining with here, this abdominal cavity. In abdominal cavity only our kidney are located. So this abdominal cavity which is lining with a membrane, like this. So which is lining with a membrane. So this membrane is called parietal peritoneum membrane. Parietal means outside. Parietal peritoneum membrane or parietal peritoneum lining around the abdominal cavity. And in this parietal peritoneum abdominal, it is a lining of abdominal cavity. Here only we have kidney. Hence, if any organs which is surrounded by parietal peritoneum cavity, such type of organs are known to be as a peritoneal organ. Okay. So in human body, the only one organ which is a retroperitoneal organ, that is kidney. Why? Because which is surrounded by the parietal peritoneum lining present around the abdominal cavity. So this statement is also right. So first, both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. So right answer is 1. For 44th. Now we move on 45th question. Okay, next 45th question. Symmetry of sea anemone. Just now we discussed different types of symmetry. Just now asymmetrical, radial symmetrical, radial symmetry, and biradial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Here sea anemones. Sea anemone. So sea anemone is animal which is belongs to Coelenterata phylum, are also called Cnidaria phylum. So these sea anemones generally superficially, very important. Superficially means externally which shows radial symmetry. Very important. Radial symmetry. But these sea anemones internally, internal structure which show both. Just now we discussed. Even though in Ctenophora there also we have seen biradial symmetry. Here in especially in Cnidaria Coelenterata, only one organism, that is sea anemone only. Okay, remember. So mostly Ctenophora phylums contain shows internally or superficially both by radial symmetry. But in Coelenterata generally show radial symmetry superficially. But internally, the sea anemone shows two different types of symmetry. Means it shows radial symmetry and also it shows bilateral symmetry. It means that this sea animals shows combination of radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry, and these two combination of symmetries together called biradial symmetry. So hence here biradial symmetry is a best example for sea anemones. Not only sea anemones but also biradial symmetry also seen in which phylum, that is Ctenophora. Remember, in Ctenophora also we have seen biradial symmetry. Okay, so right answer is biradial symmetry. Okay, so next one here, which one? 46 question 46. Here, study the following and pick up the incorrect combination we have to choose. Remember, we have to choose incorrect combination. Here giving various phylums and their peculiar cells and their examples. Okay, let's start discussion. So here first porifera. Generally this porifera has a conocyte, right? And example is chalina. So this statement is right. So we have to choose incorrect statement. Remember, this statement is right. Cnidaria, and this Cnidaria has lasso cells. No, Cnidaria here, Cnidaria also known as, just now we discussed, Coelenterata. Okay, so Cnidaria and Coelenterata, it doesn't have lasso cell. Instead of lasso cells, this Cnidaria Coelenterata organism has nidoblast cell. Very important. This contain Nidoblast cells, are also called nematocytes. Cells. Okay, Cnidaria Coelenterata contain nidoblast cell or nematocyte cells. So generally it is role is anchorage, and also they play important role in defense mechanism and also helps in prey capture. The main role of this nidoblast or nematocyte cells is anchor, defense, and prey capture. Okay, so best example here, Cnidaria best example is Hydra is there, but lasso cell is not a right peculiar cell for Cnidaria. And lasso cell is the example, it is a cell which is present in Ctenophora. So in Ctenophora we have lasso cells, but not in Cnidaria contain nidoblast cell or nematocyte cells. Then and their role, this one. Now coming to here, Ctenophora given. So generally Ctenophora contain nidoblast? No. See, this wrong statement. Nidoblast is present Cnidaria, but Ctenophora contain lasso cell. Just they make mismatch. Okay. So remember here, Ctenophora contain lasso cells. So this lasso cell also called collar blast cells, and they are non-sticky cells. Their main role is non-sticky, and main role is adhesive role. They helps only adhesive purpose. Okay, lasso cell. And example for Ctenophora is pleurobrachia is an example for Ctenophora. So here this statement is wrong. Why this statement is wrong? Because of Ctenophora doesn't contain nidoblast cells. It contain what? Lasso cells. Here this statement make this word make this statement become wrong. And here Cnidaria contain nidoblast cell, not lasso cell. Hence second here, second and third are what? Wrong statement. Now coming to Platyhelminthes. So Platyhelminthes contain cell, and its role is excretory role, play important role in excretion process in Platyhelminthes. So best example is Echinococcus. Okay, for Platyhelminthes. So here 1 and 4 are right statement, means correct statement, but here 2 and 3 are incorrect statement. So we have to choose incorrect statement. So hence second and third are incorrect statement. See here, second and third are the incorrect statement. Okay, right. Mollusca with closed type of blood circulatory systems are included in this class. So let's start some explanation on circulatory system here. Circulatory system. Generally, we have two types of circulatory system: open type of circulatory system and closed type of circulatory system. Here, open type of circulatory system means in which there is no capillaries or no blood vessels are present in open type of blood circulatory system. So in which what happens generally, in which organs, the organs deep into the blood filled in body cavity. For example here, if you see in which, if any body cavity means empty space here. For example here is body cavity or empty space, or we can also use another term like silo. And here in this body cavity which is filled with blood. Okay, and in this body cavity which is filled with blood, in that only our organ is dipped. See, this is what organ. So here organ receive directly from the body cavity which is filled with blood, directly which is received. So hence there is no capillaries are present in open type of circulatory system. And this body cavity which is filled with blood, this body cavity is known to be as a sinuses, or also we can use another term hemocoel. The body cavity, the blood which is filled with body cavity is known to be as a sinuses or hemocoels. So remember, in which no capillaries, no blood vessels, directly organs receives blood from this body cavity filled with blood only. So this type of system is called open type of circulatory system. Now coming to closed type of circulatory system. So in which closed type of circulatory system we have capillaries, and also we have various blood vessels. So here the main reason here in which blood flow through the blood vessels. Through blood vessels only the organ receives blood. Okay, now. So for example, in which for example here heart receive blood through the blood vessels. Like for example, inferior vena cava, from the superior vena cava, the heart receives blood through these blood vessels. And also the heart pump blood to the lungs means through the through the blood vessels only. For example, heart pump blood to the lungs through pulmonary arteries, and again lungs pump blood to the heart through pulmonary veins. So it means that every organ's blood will transport only through these blood vessels. This type of system is called closed type of circulatory system. So here we will discuss there are various phylums in animal kingdom. They have open type of and closed type of. So here important thing is we have to remember. So which type of which animals which contain open type of circulatory systems we will discuss here. So open type of circulatory system contain organisms are very important. First, they are annelida. So in annelida only Hirudinea leech only having open type of circulation, means rest of the annelidans are comes under closed type of circulatory system. In annelida, hirudin. Here hirudin is nothing but leech only contain open type of circulatory system. Remember first one. And second one is very important. the whole arthropoda phylum. Arthropoda comes under open type of circulatory system. And coming to mollusca, so mollusca also open type, but except in mollusca, except very important, except one class, that is cephalochordata. Sorry, cephalochordata. Except cephalochordata class, the rest of the classes which comes under open type of circulatory system. But this cephalochordata comes under closed type of circulatory system. Remember, so in all molluscans are having open type? No. Okay, so majority of the molluscans classes belong having open type of circulatory system. Only except one class in molluscan are having closed type of circulatory system. So that class is only nothing but cephalochordata. Here, cephalochordata. So this cephalochordata class in molluscans contain only closed type of circulatory system, but rest of the molluscan class comes under open type of circulatory systems. Okay, and these cephalochordates include various organisms. They are very important, like loligo. So this loligo also we can use another term, sea squid, also known as sea squid. Loligo, sea squid. And one more cephalochordata organisms like sepis. Sepis means cuttlefish. And one more organism, octopus, very well. Octopus. So octopus, another name, devilfish. See, loligo, sepis, octopus, which has various names. So remember, sea squid, cuttlefish, and devilfish. All these are the various organisms belongs to cephalo of molluscans, but these all are having closed type of circulatory systems. Okay, but majority of the molluscans are open type of circulatory system. Now coming to here, closed type of circulatory system generally seen in annelids, except what? This Hirudinea, except Hirudin or leech. Why? Because this Hirudin leech comes under open type, but rest of the annelidans are mostly closed type of circulatory system. So in annelid, one group, that is one organism is there, that is earthworm. In earthworm only, the first closed type of circulatory system was discovered. Remember, in earthworm only, first closed type of circulatory system was discovered. First closed type of circulatory system was discovered in annelid, and that is earthworm. And one more important closed type of circulatory system group is, just now we discussed now, cephalo. So it is a class belong to mollusca. Only molluscan class, that is cephalochordate, contain closed type of circulatory system. And one more very important, so majority of the chordates, chordate phylum. In chordate we have now various five phylums, five classes like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, and aves and mammals. So all these are comes under various classes in chordates now. So all these chordates classes also having closed type of circulatory system. Okay, so this is all about the explanation on this 47 questions. Let's start. So make the answer which is the right one here. So here what is it asking here? So mollusca with closed type of blood circulatory systems, which is included in the class. So which class? Cephalochordate class. So here cephalos, not chordate, sorry, extremely sorry, not chordates, cephalopoda. Okay, cephalopoda. Here which one? Cephalopoda class. So the cephalopoda class only molluscan having closed type of circulatory system. So right answer is fourth one, cephalopoda. Okay, and remember this scaphopoda, gastropoda, pelcipoda, all these are the classes of molluscans, but they contain which type of circulatory system? Open type of circulatory system, except the cephalopoda. Remember here 48th questions. Chordates share these features with echinodermata. So we have to identify common features of echinodermata and chordates. So here we have to find out common features of chordates and echinodermata, echinoderms. Okay, it means that the chordates, what features it has, it also there in echinodermata. We have to find out. Clear now? Right. So generally based on some conditions, we have to find out the common feature in both chordates and echinodermata. So like they're based on fate of blastophore. Fate of blastophore. The organisms are classified into two categories, like protostoma, proto, and deuterostomate. Protostomes and deuterostomes. Fate of blastophore classified into two groups, proteostomes and deuterostomes. Here proteostomes generally, which is having phylums, are which is started from Aschelminthus to molluscans, which contain from Aschelminthus to molluscans phylum contain this proteostomes type of blastophore. Okay, here Ascaleminthus means nematoda. From nematoda to molluscans having proteostomes type of blastophore. And now coming to deuterostomes, this deuterostomes generally present from phylum Echinoderms to chordates. Echinoderm to chordates phylum having this type of deuterostomes. See here. So echinoderms and chordates. So in between this we have what? Hemichordates. So echinoderms, hemichordate and chordates. All these having which type of blastophore means deuterostomes. Clear now? Deuterostomes. So we have to choose one. And why? Because this deuterostomes present in echinoderms as well as chordates. So we have to find where deuterostomes. So here we have deuterostome condition and here we have deuterostome condition. So we have to eliminate these two. Okay, based on this fate of blastophore. Again, we also classified this in terms of coelom. In terms of coelom, we will classify, and we have some common feature between echinoderms and chordates. So in terms of what? Coelom is nothing but empty space. So generally, based on this coelom, we have three different types of organism phylums. So there are some phylums that do not have any empty space in their body. Such type of coelom is called acoelom. It means in which no coelom is absent. No, it means no empty space. And there are one more type. Coelom is present, but it is look like true false coelom. This false coelom is also known as pseudo coelom. Coming to third one, that is true coelom. Now this true coelom is called eucoelomet. So like that we have three different types of coelom. So true coelom is eucoelomet, false coelom is pseudocoelom, and if no coelom is called acoelomets. So we have there are few phylums they comes under acoelomets. For example, they are from Porifera phylum to Platyhelminthes. Remember, from Porifera to Platy phylum, they having no coelom in their no. It means no body cavities are present in their body. Here, Porifera to Platyhelminthes means it include first phylum Porifera, then second one is Coelenterata, also called Nidaria, and third one is Ctenophora, and the fourth one is Platyhelminthes. Like from Porifera to Platyhelminthes means it includes four phylum doesn't have any body cavity. Hence they are acoelomets. Now here false coelom or pseudocoelom contain organism is only one. So that is Ascaleminthus. Here I am writing Ascaleminthus. The Ascaleminthus are also known as Nema, and very important here eucoelomet, true coelom, and here true coelom phylums are generally this true coelom again divided into two subtypes. Again divided into two subtypes. Like they are divided into two subtypes like Cygocoelom, Enterocoelom. Here I am writing this eucoelomet or true coelom divided into two subtypes. One is Cygocoelom, and one more type is Enterocoelom. Here Cygocoelom. Generally here eucoelomet comes from here nematoda is endana. So and it is started from Annelida to Chordata phylum, having which type of coelom means true coelom. But this true coelom again divided into two subtypes. In that Cygocoelom start from Annelida to Echinodon. No, Annelida to Mollusca phylums having Cygocoelom. Annelida to Mollusca means in between we have one coelom, one phylum, that is Arthropoda. These three phylums like Annelida phylum, Arthropoda phylum, and Mollusca phylum. These three phylum having Cygocoelom. Then coming to Enterocoelom, these Enterocoeloms are having mainly three phylums, and like Echinodermata phylum and Hemichordata phylum, and also Chordates phylum. Chordate. So these three phylum having Enterocoelom. Okay. So based on which here see Echinodermata and Chordates both are having common coelom, that is Enterocoelom. Clear now? So by that we can analyze these options and their cleavage. Then during early embryo stage, most of the higher phylums they cleavage in radial manner. In radial cleavage they perform. So based on that we can analyze the right answer here. So yeah, so already we have removed these two. Why? Because not there is we have protostomes, we have both are sharing deuterostomes type of feta blastophore now, right? So then we have to see their coelom condition. So here deuterostome condition, cygocoelom, no, not cygocoelom. Cygocoeloms here, cygocoelom is also type of true coelom, but it is the cygocoelom contain having phylums are like Annelida, arthropoda, mollusca only. Okay, but the radial cleavage is correct, but this one make this statement become wrong. Okay, coming here, deuterostome condition, yes, enterocoelom is there. Why? Because it contains echinodermata, hemichordata and chordates and radial cleavage. So right answer is fourth one. The next one, 49 question here. Match the following type of question here. Generic name given and common name is given. So here Hemidactylus, so Bungarus and Kilon and TS. So I generally these questions which is frame from class in chordates, that is reptiles, reptiles class, and here giving generic name and common name. From that it is made these questions. Yeah. So let's start discussion how this here. Hemidactylus is a generally it is a wall lizard. Common name is wall lizard. But remember, note here, there is a one type of lizard that is called Draco is also a lizard, but it is a flying lizard. So here flying lizard is Draco, but wall lizard is Hemidactylus. So we have to, where we have Hemidactylus, yeah, wall Hemidactylus has wall lizard, means here second one. Okay, right. Now coming to B, Bungarus. Here Bungarus is a common name here, kite snake, kite snakes, kite snake. So generally this kite snake, a Bungarus is a poisonous snake. Very important. It is a poisonous snake. It is a poisonous snakes. So like we have other poisonous snakes, like other poisonous snakes we have like Naza. It is also poisonous snakes. So common name is Indian cobra. Okay, so Tatonims. And also we have one more poisonous snakes like Ophiophagus. Here I am writing Ophiophagus. So it is also known as king cobra. Common name is king cobra. So here Indian cobra is Naja, king cobra is Ophiophagus. Remember, there is a one important terms sometimes which make some confusion. We have one important terms, that is we have one important pteridophyte plants, that is Ophioglossum. Here we have Ophiophagus. Here Ophiophagus is a poisonous snake. Common name is king cobra. But here we have Ophioglossum. So what is this Ophioglossum? It is a pteridophyte plants. It is a pteridophyte plants. Remember, pteridophyte fern plant. And commonly Ophioglossum, commonly known as adder's tongue fern. Remember, very important. Adder's tongue fern plant. Adder's tongue fern. So we have one importance of this Ophioglossum pteridophyte plant, that is the highest chromosome number are present in this Ophioglossum pteridophyte plants. It has highest chromosome number, very important. Highest chromosome number is present in this pteridophytic plant. So that how much means 2n is equal contain 1260 chromosomes are there. Generally human body has how many chromosome? 46 chromosome or 23 pair of chromosome. But this Ophioglossum, it is a pteridophytic fern plant, or also commonly known as adder's tongue fern plant, having 1260 1260 chromosomes are present in their body. So that is a major importance. So don't confuse. Here Ophioglossum is a pteridophytic plant. Here Ophiophagus is the king cobra. Okay, now remember. So other, like other poisonous snakes, here we have, that is viper russells. So these are the very important poisonous snakes we have. So one is Bungarus, Naza, Ophiophagus and viper russells. Okay. So here we have in options, Bungarus is a what? Crate here. Crate snakes. So here we have to choose fifth one here. Now coming to Kilon is nothing but it is a type of turtles. Here we will discuss. Yeah, here Kilon. So here Kilon is a marine green turtles. Marine seawater green turtle. Marine green turtle. So green turtle. Marine turtle. Kilon. Do you know we have some other Kilon species, means turtle species like Testudo. Here remember Testudo. So Testudo is a terrestrial turtles. Terrestrial. Okay. Terrestrial turtle is Testudo. Marine green turtle is Kilon. One more we have, that is freshwater turtles. So that is Trionyx. Trionyx. So here Trionyx is a freshwater turtles. So remember this three also. So here marine green turtles, Kilon, terrestrial turtles, Testudo, and freshwater turtle is Trionyx. Remember. So here Kilon is what? Turtles. So here third one. Now coming to TAS. So here I am writing TAS. About TAS. So generally TAS is a rat snakes. Common name is rat snakes. So rat snake is a non-poisonous snakes. Remember, non-snake. So like some other non-poisonous snakes we have. So in which there is a pond snake is there. Pond water snake. Pond snakes. So here pond snake generic name is Tropido. Here remember Tropido. So Tropido notus is a pond snake. It is also non-poisonous snakes. But here in our contest, TAS is rat snake. It is a non-poisonous snake. So here we have to choose TAS rat snake 1. So here the option is here. First one, Hemidactylus 2, here 2 and 5 and third and 1. So we have to choose these options. So here 2, 5, 3, 1. 2, 5 here. 2, 5, 3, 1. So right answer is first one. Okay, so next one, 50th question here. Consider the following statement. Here statement type of questions. Statement 1. In protozoans, gliding location. Gliding location is brought about by myonemes. We'll discuss. In statement 2, generally in protozoan, asexual reproduction. About their reproduction, asexual reproduction take place during unfavorable condition. We will analyze these two statements. First, about their protozoan locomotion, we will analyze. Here I am writing protozoan locomotion. So generally most of the protozoan shows gliding locomotion or gliding movement. Gliding locomotion by contractile proteinous structures. It has contractile proteinous structure. The contractile proteinous structure is nothing but myonemes. So myonemes is a very important contractile proteinous structure which is present in protozoans, and it helps to show the protozoan to become gliding movement. So right statement 1 is myonemes is right answer. So coming to their reproduction, protozoan reproduction. About next option given on reproduction. Next statement about reproduction in proto. So in here generally protozoan perform sexual reproduction and sexual reproduction both. Protozoa perform both type of reproduction, asexual and sexual. When this protozoa perform asexual reproduction means during very here asexual reproduction in protozoa nothing but like binary fission. So generally in protozoan asexual reproduction occur very important during favorable condition only. During favorable condition, very important. Favorable condition. During favorable condition only protozoan perform asexual reproduction, that is binary fissions. But in option here see, generally in protozoan asexual reproduction take place during unfavorable condition. No, asexual reproduction take place during favorable condition. So this unfavorable condition make this statement become wrong. And but here the sexual reproduction take place during favorable condition. Unfavorable condition, there is a formation of cyst. There is a cyst will be formed. So this cyst perform sexual reproduction. So during unfavorable condition to the protozoan, in their body there is a they make some structures like cyst form. They form the cyst, and this cyst they helps to perform sexual reproduction. That is in unfavorable condition. But in during favorable condition, protozoan simply perform their sexual reproduction like binary fission to reproduce. Okay, so this statement unfavorable condition is generally seen in which reproduction? Sexual, not a sexual reproduction. But in statement 2 given, asexual reproduction take place during unfavorable, no. Only favorable condition, only sexual reproduction take place in protozoan. So statement 2 is wrong. So one statement is right, second statement is wrong. So here, see, third one, statement 1 is true, but statement 3 is false. So right answer is third one. So next one, here 51 question. Drugs extracted from Papaver somniferum. We will discuss. Here, Papaver somniferum, also we use the another term poppy plant. Here, Papaver somniferum, also use poppy plant. So from this plant, we extract latex. From latex is like a white milky like structures. Latex from seed pods of this Papaver somniferum. Seed pods produce this latex, from which only this latex only opioid drugs will be obtained. Opioids drugs will be obtained. Opioid drugs will obtain from this latex of Papaver somniferum. And these opioid drugs very important. It is used as sedative purpose, and also it is used as painkiller. Remember, pain, sedative and painkiller. Opioid drugs. Generally, these opioid drugs are nothing but it include various drugs like morphine, and codeine, and heroin. So all these drugs like morphine, codeine, and heroin, all these are included in opioid drugs only. And means all this type of drugs comes under opioid category only. So they mainly helps in useful for sedative purpose and painkiller. Here sedative means like relax. So which make the relax of body or mind or brain. So which make this by consumption of this opiate drugs, which make the body become relaxed and body and brain become relaxed, and also which relieve anxiety, and also which relieves anxiety and excitements. So this the drug is only nothing but opioid drugs. So here the right answer is opiates, which is obtained from here. Cannabinoids obtained from cannabis. Okay, right. Here next one, 52 question. Fill the blank in the extra-intestinal migration of rhabditiform larva. Here giving liver, heart, lungs, pharynx, intestine here. So we have to choose. So here this question which is came from Ascaris lumbricoides. So it is a type of this organism which belongs to phylum called Asceliminthus, or also called nematoda. This Ascaris lumbricoid cause a disease called elephantiasis. Belongs to Ascaris or nematoda. Generally, this Ascaris lumbricoids organism larva is rhabditiform larva. And these larvae shows two types of migration generally. One is intra-intestinal migration of this larva will occur, and then means within only intestine only this larva will move from one place to another place. And very important, it perform extra intestinal migration. Here in questions giving about extra intestinal migration of rhabditiform larva, we have to identify how this rhabditiform larva which migrate from intestine to the other part, we will discuss here. Okay, no? Yeah, here we'll discuss. And generally during extra intestinal migration, here I am writing. Yeah, so during extra intestinal migration of rhabditiform larva, generally first where we have larva, intestine. Generally we have larva at intestine. From intestine only, which is migrated outside, means from the intestine directly, which goes from intestine directly, which goes to the liver. Very important, to the liver. From intestine to liver through hepatic portal vein. Through hepatic portal vein, the rhabditiform larva from intestine to liver will enter, move. From liver, this rhabditiform larva which moves to the heart, where heart, through the post vein. So this post caval vein also known as inferior vena cava. From heart, this rhabditiform larva which move to the lungs through here, through pulmonary artery. So like that, the rhabditiform larva which migrate from the intestine to the liver to the heart to the lungs through various, by using various transporters. So like from intestine to liver using hepatic portal vein, and from liver to heart by post caval vein or superior vena cava, from heart to lungs through this pulmonary artery, post caval vein or superior inferior vena cava and hepatic portal. These are the various mediator using to transport or move larva from intestine to the lungs. Okay, so these are the various how these rhabditiform larva which migrate from intestine to the lungs. So here let's see the options here. So here we have to find out here. Once go from question here, we have to choose what. So fill this. Yeah, we have to fill. Okay, fine. So fill the blank here. Extra intestinal migration of rhabditiform larva. So here liver to heart. See, just now we discussed now, from liver to heart. Which one? Post caval vein or inferior vena cava here. Post vein or inferior vena cava. So from intestine to liver, hepatic portal vein. But here, this blank is given between liver and heart. So the right answer is post caval vein or inferior vena cava. And think here, heart to lungs, we have pulmonary artery. So like that, the larva will be migrate. Okay, no? Right. So here right answer is post caval vein. So in which the rhabditiform larva which move from liver to heart. So right answer is second one. So next one is here 53 question. Consider the following statements. Statement type of question given. Cannabinoids are being abused by sport person for doping. Here cocaine, statement 2. Cocaine is involved in the transport of neurotransmitter dopamine. So we'll analyze these two drugs, drug abuse. First we will analyze cannabinoids drugs, cannabinoids, ganja, cannabinoids drugs. So generally cannabinoids drugs are frequently abused by athletes. We know that generally it is abused by athletes. Why they abuse by athletes means to enhance performance in their sports, performance in their respective sports. So why means while they having these cannabinoid drugs by sport persons, though they perform well in their sports, and as well as they reduce anxiety. So when they consume these drugs, and it leads to doping violation. So hence cannabinoids being abused by sport person, it leads to doping violation. So statement 1 is right. Now coming to cocaine here. Cocaine. So cocaine drug is directly interfere with the very important neurotransmitter. This cocaine drug directly interfere with a neuro. That neurotransmitter is nothing but dopamine. It directly interfere with dopamine neurotransmitter. Why? Because so with blocking reuptake of transport. Generally what happen here, here we have neurons, here we have two neurons, for example like this here, like so the gap between two neurons are called synapse. Between two neurons there is a space. This space is called synapse. Generally the information in neuron comes in the form of neurotransmitter. So for example here, if we have more neurotransmitter in this gap, so here this gap, synapse gaps, is filled with neurotransmitter. Various neurotransmitter is there. So in which very important neurotransmitter is dopamine. Not only dopamine, also acetylcholine. Like that we have various neurotransmitter, and this neurotransmitter carry the information from one neuron to another neuron. So what happened in this case when we are having this cocaine, so here directly which is interfere with this dopamine neurotransmitter. How means, and which block this cocaine drug which block this neurotransmitter dopamine. So when it block this dopamine which not transport to the another neuron, it means that this dopamine stay longer time only in synapse only. In the synapse region only this dopamine stay longer time. Okay, so remember, so reuptake transport block the this cocaine drug which block the reuptake of transport to the next neuron, so keeping dopamine in the synapse longer time. So hence we use this cocaine. So here transport of neurotransmitter dopamine. So hence this cocaine directly interfere with this dopamine neurotransmitter. So it makes second statement is also right. So here statement 1 and statement 2 both are true. So first option is right option. Okay. Next one, 54 question here. Consider the following statement type of question given. To control malaria, mosquito are to be eradicated. Yes. So here eradicating vector, here vector, that is nothing vector here, female anopheles mosquito. Here to eradicate vectors, here vector is female anopheles mosquito. Okay, female anopheles mosquito. If we eradicate this female anopheles mosquito, so which stop the transmission of malaria, which stop the or which control the transmission of malaria, stop or control the malaria. Very important. Okay, and reason C, mode of infection of plasmodium is by inoculation, that is nothing but female anopheles. Generally these plasmodium protozoan parasites enter the human bloodstream through the infected female anopheles. Yes, so this statement is also right. How means, generally this plasmodium plasma, if we eradicate this vector, why? Because this vector like female anopheles mosquito only which inoculate the plasmodium vivax or plasmodium protozoan directly into the human bloodstream. If we eradicate this plasmodium, sorry, if we eradicate this vector, that is female anopheles mosquito, then there is no transmission of this plasmodium vivax into the bloodstream. So like that we can prevent this malaria. So mode of infection of plasmodium is by inoculation, that is by female anopheles. Yes, this statement is also the right one. Why? Because if we eradicate this vector, definitely, and which mainly helps to control the malaria. Why? Because in which female anopheles mosquito play important role to transport the plasmodium into the human body. So we have to eradicate plasmodium vectors. So that is mosquito, female anopheles mosquito. So this two statement is right. So right answer is first one. So next one here, 55 question. Refractive region of ommatidium of cockroach. So which is the refractory region of ommatidium of cockroach? We will discuss. And generally it is this refractive region of ommatidium is a structure of cornea. So we'll discuss. ommatidium refractive region seen in compound eyes of cockroach, which is seen in compound eyes of cockroach. So generally this ommatidium refractive region is a modified structure of retina. It's a modified structure of retina. So that is retina here nothing but cornea or cornea. It is a modified structure of retina or cornea present on the surface of each individual ommatidium. Okay. So why this modified structure of this cornea means it is a it serves as primary refractive role. It serves as primary role to focus incoming light rays. Its main primary function is primary. It is act as it serve as a primary refractory to focus the incoming light rays. Okay, so hence this cornea get modified into some structures which is present on the surface of each individual ommatidium. So that structure is nothing but ommatidium refractive region, and it is a modification in only in seen in compound eyes of cockroach. So right answer is cornea. Okay, so next 56 question here. Choose the mismatch pair. We have to choose mismatch pair, means incorrect pair regarding to cockroach. Here alluring muscles present in blood circulation. Yes, this statement is generally right. This pair is right, correct statement. And malphizian tubules are seen in excretion. Yes, and dorsoventral muscles are seen in respiration. See, there are various systems are given in cockroach. So there we have different types of structures like alluring muscles seen in blood circulation, malphizian tubules play important role in excretion, and dorsoventral muscles play important role in respiration. And coming to anal style, which is reproductive part, which is seen in female. No, generally anal style is present in male only. Remember, in male only anal style is present. So due to presence of this anal style, and it make the differences between a male cockroach and female cockroach. So it may make the differences between male and female structure. Generally where we have this anal style in male. So here I'm writing anal style, or how they are present means they are thin on structures, and these thin unjointed structure they project from the ninth sternum in male cockroach. They project from ninth sternum in male cockroach. Okay, from the ninth sternum of male cockroach only they are projected into this reproductive organ. So that structure become thin or unjointed structure called anal style, which is only seen in male cockroach. So due to this style, anal style, which is present in the male cockroach, and that is which make the differences between, and we can easily distinguish which is male cockroach and which is female cockroach. Why? Because in male cockroach only we have seen this anal style, and female cockroach this anal style is completely absent. So hence here mismatch pair is anal style present in female, no, which is anal style present only in male. So fourth one is the mismatch pair in cockroach. Okay, so next 57 question here. Study the following and identify the correct statement regarding to cockroach. Here giving cockroach. All these are cockroach statement. We will analyze first. In cockroach, sub-esophageal ganglion. See here, sub-esophageal ganglion is the principal sensory center. No. So here, the principal sensory center is not sub-esophageal ganglion. It is a supra-esophageal ganglion. Remember, here I am writing supra. Supra-esophageal ganglion is the principal sensory center. The principal means main sensory center, not sub. Sub-esophageal ganglion is not. Only supra-esophageal ganglion is principal sensory center. So this statement is first statement is become wrong. Now coming to second statement here, ventral nerve cord of cockroach has only 9 ganglion along its length. Yes, this statement is right. Why? Because here this ventral nerve cord of cockroach contain 3 thoracic ganglion and 6 abdominal ganglion. So this 3 plus 6 thoracic ganglion and abdominal ganglion to make together form 9 ventral nerve cord. It has 9 ganglion. So this statement is right. Now coming to the third one, the image formed by ommatidium in nocturnal insects during night time are called superposition image. Yes. So we know that cockroach is a nocturnal animals, so which is active during night time only, and in which the image form, that is only the formed image is nothing but superposition superposition image. The image formed during night time because of having this ommatidium is a compound structure in eye. That image is called superposition image. So this statement is right. Now coming to here fourth statement. During expiration, thoracic spiracles are kept open and abdominal spiracles are kept closed in cockroach. No. Why? Because here during expiration these spiracles, there are thoracic spiracles and abdominal spiracles. Generally, these spiracles play important role during expiration, means respiration process. They play important role during respiration only. So we have different places where we have these spiracles opening, like thoracic spiracles and abdominal. Generally, they are kept closed. No, they are always open. Remember, so spiracles always open. Spiracle is important, and this spiracle structures respiratory structure which is present along the side of cockroach, and they are always open. They are never closed. So hence, and why? Because this respiration or expiration is a passive transport of gases in cockroach. So hence, there is a need to open of thoracic spiracles and abdominal spiracle always must and should be open. Not they may be closed. So here, but in option giving close now. So this closed word which make this statement become wrong. So here fourth one is also wrong. So we have to choose a correct statement here. Second and third are the correct statement. Here second and third is the right statement. Okay. So next one here 58 question. Match the following. In list 1 giving rise in sea level, increase of pollutant at successive tropic level, enrichment with nutrient, water hyacinth. So here these questions which is framed from environmental issues. Environmental issues. This question is framed. First we will discuss rise in sea level. So this word which is related to the greenhouse effect. So we'll discuss in detail. Greenhouse effect, or also we can use global warming. Here I am writing greenhouse effect, or also we can call global warming. So this global warming mainly responsible, which is result. So due to global warming or greenhouse effect, the result is melting of glacier. So global warming means high temperature, in which high temperature will be there. High temperature. So due to high temperature in greenhouse effect, so there is a melting of glaciers. So once these glacier get melting, it is resulted to sea level become increase, rise in sea level due to melting of this glacier. Why melting of glacier? Because of high temperature. So this high temperature is due to greenhouse effect or global warming. Do you know there are some gases in environment which make this in globally warming? Such gases are called greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gases, these greenhouse gases only responsible for this greenhouse effect or global warming. So here greenhouse gases, like in which highest concentration of greenhouse gases is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, how much means 60%. So 60% of carbon dioxide is responsible for greenhouse effect or global warming. And then methane gas. How much means? Methane, approximately around 20% of methane gas is responsible for this greenhouse effect. Then chlorofluorocarbons, CFC. How much means? 14%. And then last, nitrogen oxide. How much means? 6%. So so these are the various four important gases which is responsible for this greenhouse effect, like carbon dioxide 60%, and methane CH4 20%, chlorofluorocarbon 14%, and nitrogen oxide 6%. Very important. So these are the various gases which is responsible for greenhouse effect. Now coming to, there is a one convention which is occurred to reduce these greenhouse gases. Very important. Here I am writing. There is a one convention which is held in Japan, that is in Tokyo, and why? Because to reduce these greenhouse gases. So thus that convention here called Kyoto Protocol. So this Kyoto Protocol, which is held in 1997, there is a one convention will occur. That convention is called Kyoto Protocol. Why? Because to reduce these greenhouse gases. Okay. So remember one important note here. There is a ozone depletion. You know ozone depletion. So your ozone level get depletion due to more amount of chlorofluorocarbon. Do you know there is a one more convention which is occurred to reduce this chlorofluorocarbon? That is MON Protocol. This Montreal Protocol, which is held in 1987. See 87. This one 97. Remember. So here Montreal Protocol for reduce chlorofluorocarbon to prevent ozone depletion, and here Kyoto Protocol which held due for reduce of greenhouse gases to protect the greenhouse effect or global warming. So remember these two. Okay, yes. So here one is third one. So greenhouse effect is result is rise in sea level, and here increase of pollutant at successive troposphere level. So this word is biomagnification. In biomagnification, we already discussed, we made a one video on this biomagnification, in which what happened, the toxics which is increased from successive tropic level. So here fourth one, enrichment with nutrient. So this concept is for eutrophication, so which leads to form algal bloom. For example, best example here, terror of Bengal. So which one, that is water hyacinth or Eichhornia plants. So here C1 is first one, and water hyacinth, here water hyacinth, terror of Bengal, fifth one. Okay, third here fourth one two, third fourth one, fifth, sorry, here fifth one now, yeah. So here first one is the right option, terror of Bengal, water hyacinth.